Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Uh, 1 minute. I welcome all of you on the seventh day of the international conference organized by Kisanvir Mahavidyalaya Vai and Minecraft and World. Hello. Sound आ रहा है sir?
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes. World EQ for Peace worldwide. Today's session, uh, today's first session uh, by the Professor Matt, who is a co-organizer of this international conference. Professor Matt, Namaskar. Where is Professor Matt? Matt?
Yes, Madras join.
No.
He joined
Yeah.
and maybe left.
Yes.
And yeah, Matt is here.
Ye-
There.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Matt sir,
Good morning.
good morning.
Hello.
Good
Hello,
morning.
hello. Thank you
Good
for having
morning.
me.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
I'm Professor Dr. Anand Ghorpade, co-organizer of this conference. With you, we are organize this conference. Professor Anand Ghorpade from Kisanvir Mahavidyalaya Y, India. So today I introduce Professor Matt. Professor Matt is from USA. He has been for almost 40 years uh, teaching EQ in USA and worldwide. Uh, he believes that one of the biggest problem in the world today is the lack of emotional education, and that is how to handle, how to express, and how to manage emotion. Because of that, he founded and run the worldwide organization EQ for Peace. This is a non-profit organization which run by Professor Matt. From this organization platform, he teaches emotional educations for KG to PG and also for PhD student, home, schools, and industrial area. How to learn emotion, how to manage emotion is so difficult that is not like a swimming or riding a bicycle, or not from reading a bundle of books. Actually, that need the process to start from from involvement to learn how to manage emotion. So he suggests that, Professor Matt suggests that the workshop made for understanding EQ is like a experiential, not like a delivering a lecture. He will ask you a question, also giving you a self-assessment test. So ready for that? Let's let's it go. We will start uh, Professor Matt lecture. I request Professor Matt, we are eagerly waiting for your demonstration. Thank you very much. And over to Matt. Over to Professor Matt. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Like I said, thank you for having me. It's good to be back. Good to see you all again, and look forward to talking to you about positivity in a big way. Positive parenting, positive psychology, positive mental health. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll get started. I have too many slides, so I'm going to go too fast. I'm going to go fast, so hang on, and I'll ask some questions and such during. You might want to put it in the chat You might want to just answer it to yourself. It's up to you, but well, I'd like you to be engaged if you could. And like the intro said, thank you, sir. That said, we got to learn this by practicing, by doing it, not just listening, not just having someone read it. You can't read it in a book or tell about it. You got to practice. You got to learn it. You got to experience it. So it's very real. So let's go. Some of the goals for this session, I'd like to introduce you to the power of positive mental health via emotional intelligence. You probably know about emotional intelligence, a very big deal, and it's changing the world and maybe save the world, actually. I'm going to talk a lot about the acceptance of emotional responsibility. That's a huge part, something that we need to teach our kids, and we need to do it first. And so I'll go into that in detail. I want you to become more aware of and accepting of your own self and others' emotions. This is about emotions, where it starts with. That's kind of the key to peace and the key to us being able to relate, to connect, to have success, to have happiness, to have some sanity in our lives is about learning about our emotions, because we don't know them very well, and that's having big problems, and I'll explain. We want to create a safe emotional environment for ourselves and others, become an emotional role model, and learn how to enjoy our kids. I just put this picture in of two of my grandkids. Anybody, I'd be interested if you have in the chat, how many kids do you have? Any of you? Does anybody have kids, grandkids, great grandkids? Put it in the chat if you feel like it. Kind of fun. I have 3 kids, 6 grandkids, and 2 great grandkids. So, and I spend a lot of time with them. I enjoy them very much. Happiest thing in my life. And I watch them and I learn from them and I follow them around and I take notes and I see how they do what they do and watch their faces and watch what they're learning. And it's fascinating, and it's the best way possible to learn, in my opinion. So let's begin with the end in mind. Takeaways from this: I'm hoping that you'll have kids can be the greatest joy in life if you enjoy them. Emotions matter more than we ever imagined. There's critical skills for positive mental health to help us deal with our emotions. We learn about emotional responsibility, as I mentioned. You are in charge of your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your emotions in particular. And that puts you in charge of your life. It's a huge, to me, it's the tipping point between whether you're going to do well, whether your kids are going to do well or not, is whether you think that you are in charge of you, or you think that people made you this way. People make you angry. People hurt your feelings. People do things to you that you're not in charge. They did it. They made you angry. No, they didn't. They do what they do. You made you angry. It's your thoughts that made you think or feel certain things. Your thoughts come first, and your thoughts make you feel different things, and they're yours. Your perception, your view of things, your opinions, that kind of thing are all inside of you. You perceive the world the way it is, and that makes you feel certain ways, and you can change them. You can change them. So if you think they did it to you, you become a whiner, blamer, victim. If you think that you are in charge of you, if you know that you are in charge of you, you can do amazing things with your life, be very powerful, and have a very happy, wonderful life. I think that's the tipping point. So I'm going to say it. I'm saying it now. I'm saying it a couple more times in here. That's the biggest takeaway of this whole thing. If you don't find anything else in my value of what I'm saying, just consider that you are in charge of you, because that matters a lot. A lot. That's a deal breaker. So no one can make you feel anything emotionally without your permission. They can physically. You can hurt somebody. You can make people feel things physically without your permission, but you can't make somebody feel anything emotionally without your permission. It's up to you. So I'm saying that the most important life skill to have as a parent is to help our kids have emotional management, starting with emotional responsibility. So I have some good news and some bad news. Things are not going all that well emotionally in the world. Let's start with the bad news, and then we'll get better. This is 6seconds.org. It's the largest EQ trainer in the world, and they just published the State of the Heart report. It had with it, they did, it was at 400,000 data points around the world, and they're finding that we are definitely in an emotional recession. There's a decline in drivers of economic and social thriving, meaning that things are bad and getting worse emotionally in the world. Here's a link to that if you want to see it. It's 6seconds.org, SOH, which stands for State of the Heart. If you want to read it, it's free. It's fascinating, and there's some wonderful. I didn't have time to put all of the conclusions to it, but it's not going well. Speaking of not going well, these are all up. Violence is up, abuse is up, addictions are up, suicides are way up, divorce is up, mental health issues are up, physical health issues, even physical health. And well, I don't have time to go into that, but physical health is one of the most amazing things to me, because what they're finding is the connection between emotional problems as a child. If you had a rough childhood, you're probably going to have a rough adulthood, both emotionally and physically. The more problems you had, the more stressors and trauma you had as a child, the more likely you have to have severe physical problems health problems as an adult. And they have direct correlations. There's hundreds of studies now connecting those two, because it's fascinating, and it's so effective to try to explain what's going on, why people are having so many more physical problems than we had before. Of course, crime and war and all these are based on a lack of emotional education, not people not knowing how to deal with their emotions. Here's a chart specifically on India. This is since COVID. You look at it's just skyrocketing on suicides, and this is very avoidable. And this is very a critical issue. I think the next presenter is going to talk in greater depth about suicide. It's a big deal, and it's something we can do something about. So if you know anybody or kids or anybody that's committed suicide, and it's a worse in the kids and young people. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. So enough of that. Let's talk about some good news. The good news is we have two sides of our brain. Our left brain, our logical IQ, sequential side, That's how we think, and logic is mostly on our left brain. This is not exactly true, but it's close. It's really close. It's enough so you get the idea. And so our left brain is our logical, and our society, your society, most in the world are based on our left brain. Our schooling is based on our left brain, on logic and cognitive thinking. Our families, we talk about what you think and how do you get a job and what do you need to do and that sort of thing. And we think about that, but we don't have much training, and we don't talk about our right brain, our creative side, our passions, our feelings, our parallel processing. Things are happening all at the same time, and it gets confusing, and it's mushy, and it's harder to deal with, and that sort of thing. But we need to learn about both sides. We are defective in that area. We're good on our left brain. We are pretty good about knowing about how our thoughts work, but we're not very good at our right brain. And I'm saying that it is critical that we learn how put it all together, use our whole brain so that we can have whole brain thinking. Emotional education is the key to the whole thing. Aristotle said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. That's a little bit severe, but you get the idea. We're saying it's cool that we are learning about our left brain, but we got to add our right brain to it. Our heart education is huge. The good news is that these are teachable skills. Being happy, being successful, being peaceful are all teachable skills. We can teach kids and teens and adults how to be happy and successful and create peace in our lives. These are teachable skills. And so education is the key. And it makes me very happy that I'm talking right now to you guys that are a lot of educators or students. Education is the key to this whole thing, in my opinion. And I think it's going to save us. It's going to save us. I really do. One of the things we're trying to teach people is that emotions matter more than we ever imagined. Like I said, they matter a lot. We tend to poo-poo them and push them away, and we don't want to talk about them, and they're uncomfortable, and they don't feel good sometimes, and they're difficult, and they're mushy, and that sort of thing, and we don't want to talk about them. But we have to change our opinion about how important emotions are in our lives. Just study after study after study is showing they're critical to so much of our lives. So learn about them. So we're learning to balance. We're not saying emotions are more important than our cognitive areas. They're not. We've got to be able to think logically. We've got to be able to make sense. We've got to make good decisions. Things have to make sense. We've got to use our cognitive processes. Great, right? And we need to add to that our right brain, our EQ, our emotional intelligence, so that we have so much more information that our body is trying to give us. By emotions are a message. Emotions are information. Emotions are ways that your body lets you know what's going on inside and what really matters to us and what makes sense and what's our gut feeling and what's our intuition and stuff like that. Seems like they're not a big deal. They are. They're huge. And so if we pay some more attention to our right brain and balance things out, it works really well. 6 Seconds has just come up with this today, which I think is very cool that I'm talking about this today, is the very first ever in the World Emotional Intelligence Day. They're hoping to get the UN involved like most world days. They have application into them now, but we're starting with today, 6th of June, is the first World Emotional Intelligence Day. This it tells you, it's an indicator of how popular it's getting now and how many people need to know about this. With COVIDs and some of the other things, with all the things going wrong, people are now starting to want to learn this stuff, and that's wonderful. That's the whole point of this conference, and Cheyenne putting in Minecraft, coming out to do conference after conference and webinars, and we're doing all kinds of work trying to teach people about emotions, and they want to know. That's a wonderful thing. People want to know now. They need to know, kind of, and it's coming, so that's good. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, they need to know because it's so bad. But anyway, there's 3 basic steps to emotional intelligence we found. First off, awareness. We got to be aware first. We got to be aware first, or we can't do anything. So we got to at least understand that we have thoughts and we have feelings, and that they keep going, and they're going to keep going. And they're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have thoughts and feelings all day, every day. If we know about our thoughts and we don't know about our feelings, yikes, right? We need to know both sides. So we need to at least be aware of what's going on inside of us. Second is acceptance. That doesn't seem very important, but it's huge. We also, once we realize what's happening, we're having a feeling, okay, I'm upset about something. Okay, I'm anxious about something. I'm embarrassed about something. I'm scared about something. Okay, it's okay. It's okay that we accept that that's what's happened. We don't have to like it. We don't have to stay that way. We don't have to have it control our lives, but we do. It very crucial step is to learn how to accept that. What's going on for us. And same thing for kids. We help people to become aware, help kids be aware. Did you realize you sound angry? Is that what you're feeling? You sound like you're a little bit scared. Is that something bothering you? And you have the kids explore and go, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do. That is angry. Okay. And that's okay, right? You're feeling that stuff. And we have to make it, as parents, make it okay for the kids. It's okay, right? Okay. Now, step 3 is action or no action. What are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that? And doing nothing is a good action. That's a good choice. It's a good choice. Emotional intelligence gives us choices, gives us a lot more choices because we have so much more information. Adding our right brain information gives us so much more, and it gives us so many choices. And one of the choices always is do nothing. And sometimes especially with strong emotions, doing nothing is a really good idea, right? Something's not going well. Sometimes just keep your mouth shut or You don't have to hit them back. You don't have to react with them. When your kid's having a fit, you don't have to you don't have to punish them. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to put them down. You don't have to shut them up. You can take some action, a good, positive role model kind of actions, or you can do nothing and just wait and keep. And that's why 6 seconds, for example, 6 seconds is called 6 seconds because it takes about 6 seconds for your emotions to go, and then they settle back down a little bit. Like counting to 10, it really works. That really does work. And so if you can if you can become aware and accept your emotions, and then you go, okay, I don't have to react to my strong emotions. I can respond in a positive, powerful way that makes sense, that uses both sides of our brain. Both sides says, does this make sense, what I'm getting ready to do? And does it feel good? Does it feel right? Both sides. We balance those two when we're making our decisions, a big deal. And sometimes, like I said, no action is a very good action to take. We do a quick check-in. This is one of the very basics of emotional intelligence. Lots and lots of schools are starting to use this now. They call it the feelings check-in. It only takes a few minutes. They go around the room and do this for yourself. Is ask yourself, what are you feeling right now? What are you thinking? And what are you feeling? And see if you can figure out the difference. What are you thinking? And what are you feeling? They're different, and they need to be handled differently, and they're not the same thing. And it's really important that we be able to differentiate them, distinguish them, and be able to manage both sides. So try it. What are you feeling right now? You can put it in the chat or not. And do you accept those feelings? So that we're doing awareness and acceptance, the first 2 steps, just like that. Yeah, I'm feeling rushed, right? For example, I'm feeling a little concerned that Jayan's sitting up and he's going to shut me off before I'm done with my PowerPoint, and then we're not going to get all the point across to you. So I'm feeling a little bit nervous about that. So that's a feeling, and that's okay with me. And what am I doing about it? I'm talking faster, and I'm trying to get the points across to you, and that sort of thing. So I'm doing something about it. Or something with it. So when you can, ask yourself, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? Here's this chart has a whole bunch of feeling words. You can feel more than one thing at a time. It's really helpful to understand yourself and what's going on. It makes you make sense to you. You make sense to you if you know what you're feeling. I call it name it to tame it. It feels better. It feels solid if you know what you're feeling. Okay, and you accept it. So this is really helpful chart. It's on, it's called Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions on 6seconds.org. Look it up. Here we use for the kids a lot of time. Teachers are, I know some teachers that go through this exercise like 3 or 4 times a day. They'll put this up on the board and they go around the room and ask the kid, what are you feeling? Not how. How usually gives you a physical response. I'm tired, my back hurts, blah, blah, blah. Instead, say, what are you feeling? Are you feeling happy or scared or nervous? And the kids go around and just pick one word, but that gives awareness, acceptance, validation, information, connection, because you can go, hey, some other kids are feeling the same thing that I am. I'm not weird. I'm not broken. I'm not alien. It's okay. We're just having this feeling. And it's okay. Right. So that's awareness and acceptance at the same time. Emotional intelligence is about understanding our thoughts and our emotions, how they work. That's kind of science-based. It's logic. It's facts. This is how it works. Positive mental health, on the other hand, is about what do I do with that? What do I do with that information now that I know how they work? How do I put them to work? How do I work them? So it's action oriented, and it's strategies and being able to use your emotions in powerful ways that work for you and make good choices, etc. So peace is the goal to this whole thing, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But we're going for peace, inner peace inside of us. Well, I'll go into that in a minute. Yeah, here we go. Inner peace inside of us first. If we can learn how to be peaceful inside of ourselves, then we can do some great things. If we can learn interpersonal peace between us, between two people at a time, couples, etc., we can, you and your kid, the kids, two different kids playing together, we can learn how to be peaceful interpersonally. Then social peace is all three or more of us, our teams, our classes, our families, our communities. Three or more of us can learn how to be to get along and to be together. We're doing it right now. Actually, this is a room full of people, a lot of people, and as far as I know, right this minute, we're all getting along, as far as I know, right now. So we're doing social peace, a successful social peace, right as we speak, which is pretty cool. And what we're hoping, what's the point of emotional or EQ for peace, is that we believe that if we can teach enough people how to be peaceful inside of them and out around them, then we can have some global peace going on. We can get peace for everybody. So emotional intelligence started by Daniel Goleman, 1990. It wasn't actually started by him. It was popularized by him. I should change this a little bit because he didn't start it. It was started well before that. But this book kind of got the point across. He called it Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than EQ. As I mentioned, I believe that they're equal, they're balanced. We need to balance them. But Daniel Goleman's he's one of the leaders of the industry still, and he does some fantastic stuff. If you look him up, Goleman, it's really wonderful stuff. So he says there's 4 domains of EQ. One is to self-awareness. Like I said, awareness first. We can't do anything until we're aware. So first we got to open our eyes, open our heart, be aware of what's going on inside of us. Self-awareness, very important, critical, step 1. Step 2, okay, now that I know, what am I going to do with it? What do I do with that? How do I manage myself in ways that work and that are powerful and effective and efficient and work for me and create good relationships and help me be happy and help me be sane and help me not stress about different things and help my emotions not get out of control? That's all self-management. So that's step 2 after you can learn about yourself. And then next is knowing others. So know you, be able to manage you, know others, and lastly, be able to manage your relationship with others. Pretty simple. It's not rocket science, but what we've found is that it is not always easy. It's not easy. It can be simple without being easy. Some of this stuff, in fact, is very difficult. It's painful. It's tough. It's tough stuff to be able to deal with your anger, to deal with your sadness, to deal with your fears. It's hard sometimes, and that's sorry, that's how it works. But it makes it even more important that we get good at it. So positive mental health, we came up with this new term, positive mental health, based on positive psychology. You guys know this whole workshop is on, our conference is on positive psychology. Martin Seligman started at University of Pennsylvania. He said, we used to go for normal. They used to go for normal therapy. For the purpose of therapy was to get back to normal. And he said, wait, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. We can positive. We can learn to have love and joy and peace and resilience and grit and success and some really cool things that we can have as long as we learn how to deal with ourselves first. So that's why it's out. So we can create a peaceful life with positive mental health. We can think better thoughts. We can believe better beliefs. That's our deep meanings about how life is and how we fit into life. We can change those if they're not working for us, stuff that we decided as a child, our belief systems, we call them. They're huge and they change, they manage our lives, and we need to know how to deal with them. We can feel better feelings, we can make better decisions, we can take better actions, and therefore we can get better results, create more peace, and live a more peaceful life. All starting by learning about what's going on in our inner world, in our thoughts and our feelings. Small kids can understand it. We can make it really simple and use small words, and they're like, and you can explain to them things like, if you're sad, if you let yourself cry for a minute, you'll feel a lot better. and they go, oh, okay. And it's us adults that have trouble with some of this stuff because we got all these judgments, but kids kind of get it sometimes really quickly. And they can put it to use in their lives really quickly, and it's neat, and they can use it for the rest of their lives. Once you know this stuff, you know it, and you can use it forever. I call it preschool to PhD. We can teach little kids, big kids, medium kids, adults, teachers, everybody can learn more because it's hardly ever spoken about or taught in schools yet. It's coming. It's coming. And we focus on what we call a top-down strategy of a ripple effect. And this is, again, a wonderful thing is that Jayan put this together for this conference so that we can have you guys are teachers and caregivers and adults, and you can sorry about that. You can and will affect other people by knowing more about your emotions. You can do better. You can do better and affect others. So we're born with most of it's nature versus nurture. You know that old argument: were you born this way, or was it after you were born? We are born with only a few fears and zero angers, is what I was taught. So whatever we're afraid of and angry about, we kind of made it up as we went. So it's a nurture thing. We learned it. We learned trauma happened to us, and we decided things about how our life is and how we fit in. And that's tough. That's tough. But it's changeable. It's changeable. So whatever we learned, we can unlearn it, which is pretty cool. That's why education is such an important part. A lot of kids are born with really high EQ, and then it's downhill from there. This is showing the colors. Some of them are when they had trauma, it's downhill quickly, and they shut their feelings down, and they don't open up, and they're hurt, and they're traumatized, and it affects them for the rest of your life if you don't do any work on it. Like what I was talking about before. Sometimes there's dysfunctional families, and people over time they get worse and worse, and other just plain old normal life where kids are mean to each other, and bad things happen, and traumatic things happen, and all that, and it's slowly downhill. But for the most part, babies are born with very high emotional intelligence. They know it's not that they know what's going on, but they deal with their feelings. When they're sad, they cry. If they're hurt or angry or hungry or tired, they feel with their emotions. And then when it's resolved, when the problem is resolved, they go back to their natural state, which is being happy and loving and peaceful. It's pretty cool. That's our natural state. So we can change this. We can change this cycle, a downward spiral. This is a cool they call it Stop Generational Trauma. This is one of my pet projects, I guess, is that I feel very strongly about. Sometimes our parents didn't teach us very well. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they. I think most parents want to teach their kids and train and be loving and gentle and bring up they love their kids. They want the best for them. Some don't, but some do. Mostly they do. But still, they treat us the way that they were treated, and whether they know it or not, and it comes downhill, right? It just comes downhill. So this guy in the middle is saying, "Wait a minute! Even though I was abused, I'm gonna do it different. I'm not gonna do that to my kids. So I've got to do it different." So, and like I said, it's easy. If you were abused and you don't want to abuse your kids, don't. Right? Simple, right? Not so easy. If it happened to you, chances are it's your tendency. You're going to want to do that, or you're going to tend toward doing that, and it's tough to change it. So it can be simple without being, it can be simple and not easy at the same time. So peace education, we're taught, Dalai Lama said world peace begins with inner peace. Just like I was saying earlier, through inner peace, genuine world peace can be achieved. Peace must first be created within ourselves, then gradually expanded into our families, our communities, and ultimately the whole planet. That's a big deal. And so here's the pathway to peace. We learn about emotional intelligence. We take emotional responsibility for ourselves. That's a big part of this whole thing. You are in charge of you. You manage your positive mental health. You create peace inside of you. You can create peace between you. You create peace among us. And maybe someday we'll get to world peace doing that. Positive mental health is about dealing with and looking at our thoughts, our feelings, the decisions that we make, and then our actions. All right, thoughts, feelings, and actions. Those are the big three. And then I added in there decisions, because the decisions are where we have the most control, where we have the most power to choose, is in our decisions. We can decide, we can have a thought, we can have a feeling, and we can decide what to do with it. We get to decide what are we going to do, if anything. And so then we do it or don't do it. And that's a big deal. So that puts us in charge of ourselves. Emotional responsibility. Again, we are 100% responsible for our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Not some of them, all of them. Not all, some of them, all of them. So here's basically how it works. Outside of us, things happen. Then when we have a thought and or a feeling about what happened, we then that's bringing the outer world inside of us. But we need to know that that we did that. We did that. And so we become aware first of what we're thinking and feeling. We accept what we're thinking and feeling, and again, accepting emotional responsibility for it, that we made our thoughts and feelings. We then evaluate them. Is that what I want to think and feel? Is that what I want? Is that where I want to go with this? Is this working for me? Is it? And we evaluate it and kind of judge it, or look at it, analyze it a little bit, and then we get to decide. We get to decide: is this where do I want to do next, if anything? Where's the action? What action do I want to take, if any? So that's all done inside of us, and then you do the action if you want, and that's now that's now outside of you sometimes, most of the time, and so other people are going to get involved, and so what you decide, you be careful of what you decide. So I mean, what you decide to do and what you do. So actions are outside, then your behaviors, a set of actions. An action is just like lift your hand or smile or something. It's a small thing, but a behavior is a whole set of actions, and those whole sets of who you are and what you become and what you think, say, and do are your behaviors, and that's the results you're going to get, is based on your behaviors. So again, things happen outside, we bring them inside, we work with them, we process them, I call them, and then we go back outside to the world and make things happen. It's pretty cool. So our inner world's our thoughts and feelings. Outer world is our actions and results. So no matter what happens outside, we get to choose what goes on inside. That's a big deal. So how do you guys do that? How much do you believe you are in charge of your thoughts, feelings, and actions? Maybe rate yourself 1 through 5 if you want to. How good are you at this? How much do you feel like you are in charge of you? And if it's pretty good, then make it more. It's all the time if you can. More is better in this case. There are basically 3 basic positive feelings: joy, peace, and love, that we're going for. And those are all our natural state. You watch little babies, and most of the time they're pretty happy, unless something's really bad or something went wrong. They're pretty happy. They look for stuff to be happy about. They're peaceful, and they're loving toward people by nature. Here's the negative stuff that also happens kind of by nature, but that's what is based on our thoughts and based on what's happening outside of us. Is we have the big 3: fear, anger, and sadness. I'm saying remember that chart earlier that had all those feelings on it? Those are all true. But if you can just boil this down, what we found after many years of doing this is that if I can boil down all those feelings, all those fancy words, into fear or anger or sadness, then we can manage those. If we can just manage our own fears, our angers, and our sadness, there's not much that life can throw at us that we can't handle. We can handle almost anything if we can handle these big 3, in my opinion, and based on a lot of our work. So fear, anger, and sadness, get good at all three of those inside of you and allow them and talk to your kids about them. And they're real. They're happening. They're happening. You're going to feel these things, and that's okay. You're going to feel these things, and that's okay. And so we learn how to deal with them. And if we can deal with them, then we go back to, like I said, our natural state, which is joy, peace, and love up above the line. We come down, we deal with our stuff, we process our feelings, and then we come on back up and go, you know what? All right. Okay, I let go of that. I deal with my fear, I deal with stuff, and I let go of it and go back to calm and peaceful and loving. Our natural state is pretty cool. So to get back to your positives, we deal with and release the negatives. My mentor, Doc Downing, has taught that. I love this. This is kind of the basis of all this work, is that negative emotions expressed as intensely as they're felt in the body will reduce in intensity and are free to change if we let ourselves feel, if we let ourselves become aware of and accept our negative feelings, whether we take action about them or not, then they will reduce in intensity and are free to change. That's a big deal. So if we can deal with, to get to our best, we need to be able to deal with our worst. This website has like 4,000 words in the English language that are about feelings. There's huge vocabulary, but still, like I said, we're basing it on those. If we can boil them down to the big three negatives and the big three positives, it really helps. A couple steps to positive mental health, also real simple, but not so easy sometimes. Name it to tame it. Like I said, if we can become aware of our positive thoughts and feelings and our net positive and negative thoughts and feelings, then we can do something with them. But and then spin it to win it is about changing them, knowing that you're responsible for them, and that if you don't like them, you can change them. So spin it to win it, I call it. I'm judging them, and I'm following, and I'm calling them names inside of me, and I'm thinking less of them and that kind of thing. And I'm having these yucky thoughts. It makes me feel grumpy. It makes me feel distant. It makes me feel judgmental. Makes me feel yucky. I don't like that. I don't want to walk around thinking that stuff. I'm going to think more peaceful and loving thoughts so that I feel more peaceful and loving. It's pretty cool. They're different, but we're in charge of both sides. And like I said, feel it to heal it. Sometimes that's the term for expressing our feelings, even to ourselves, and nobody needs to hear about it. You don't have to dump on anybody. You just feel what you need to feel. Sometimes if you're really scared, you let yourself be scared for a minute. Or if you're angry, just grit your teeth, grit your hands, and just tense up and let yourself feel that anger. Let it come into your body, out of your body. Oh, and then let it go, and then let it go. And you actually release it. You can actually, let it float away or drop off or gravity or whatever, or drip out or rip it out or whatever it is. You let it go. And then it will magically turn into more positive feelings. Safety is a huge key to this whole thing. If you can make it safe, we call it permission to feel. Give yourself permission to feel, not judging yourself, not judging other people's emotions, but making it safe for them. Oh, really? Is that what else is going on? What's happening for you? If you can make it safe for people to feel their feelings around you, you become super valuable to them. That's one of those massive relationship skills, is to help other people feel more and feel more okay with how they feel. And that's a very big deal. So peace is a key to happiness. Inner peace is based on emotional intelligence. We're born with everything we need. We're in control of ourselves and our inner world. If we add our IQ and our EQ together, our left brain and our right brain together, that's where smileys come from. And we can teach all this. We can teach all this to our kids and beyond. Empathy is one of the biggest skills that we have in emotional intelligence, and start with yourself. You first. Empathy for you. Give yourself a break. Give yourself cut some slack. Listen to some of the voices that go on in your head and how you talk to yourself. And like, wow, some people are so mean to themselves, so mean and harsh to themselves and unnecessarily listen to that stuff and go, dude, you really need that. Really? If you were somebody else, would you be that judgmental? If you were looking at a kid and that thing was happening to them, would you treat them the same way, or would you be a little more understanding and empathetic and compassionate toward other people? It's one of the keys to one of the biggest things in emotional intelligence, empathy, and you first. Uh, with other people, I call this, I came up with this, listening with soul, I call it, for communication. You SOUL, you stop, open up your heart a little bit and listen to people. Listen to your kids, let them talk, let them express themselves. And what you say, you know, how was your day? And shut up and listen to the answer. That S can be shut up or stop, either one, but open up and just be there. This is a cool picture because you look at this guy's body language. He's just totally focused on her and just listening, not judging, just listening. And she's expressing what she needs to. And it's like magic, you guys. It's like magic. My wife and I do it when she comes home from work. I go, well, how's your day? And I shut up and listen to the answer. And she tells me this was tough and I'm tired. And I had to stand up all day and I had these lousy customers. And then after a while, she's like, okay, yeah. And she talks it out and it's called venting versus complaining. Complaining is they did it to me and that's terrible and people are mean and that's complaining. Venting is where you go, no, this was hard. I'm tired. This is terrible. Some things were difficult for me today. Things didn't go well. And I'm telling you, and as I'm telling you, the energy's coming out of my body so I can let it go. That's venting. And it's like magic difference between complaining and venting is huge. And chances are this lady in this picture is going to feel a lot better after she's done talking because he's just listening. And he's making it safe for her and giving her permission to feel. So we get to open our hearts as much as we want or close them. Another one of the biggest EQ skills. How much do you open your heart to others, actually to yourself and others? A lot of people are pretty closed down, but it's one of the biggest skills is being able to do that. Parenting, you're the role model. They're watching you. There's the thing, or I don't know if it's in here. Don't worry that your kids aren't listening to you. Worry that your kids are watching you. They're going to end up doing what you do. So you be the emotional role model. Find teachable moments. That means right after they're crying and they're in the middle of some real problem or something went really bad. That's not a time to teach them usually. You let them calm down a little bit and then you go, you know, what do you think happened back there? What happened? What were you thinking? What were you thinking that caused you to feel that way? How come you did that? You know, and let them explore and they go, does that work for you? And you go, not really, huh? So find teachable moments. Teach emotional responsibility. And remember, you did that. Now it's little Johnny, what they did, you got upset about it. How did you do that? Okay. Help them see that they have choices. You could have thought this, you could have thought this. All right. Thoughts come first. Enjoy your kids. Have at least one adult in the room. I like that. And that's you, by the way, is to not have a fit and go to their kids get really upset and you get upset right at them, or you get all huge and yelling and that's not helpful. That's not being an adult. That my daughter calls it adulting. And it's a wonderful concept, is about one of you needs to be calm, hopefully you. So feelings are a good thing, not a bad thing. Change your mind about that. Give yourself permission to feel. Follow their interests and let them lead. I do that with my grandkids, especially. I'd follow them around and watch them and listen to them and see what's going on for them, what they're thinking and feeling, and let them lead. What do you want to play with? Okay, I can do that with you. What are we watching? And let's talk about it a little bit. What is it you like about this? And be inquisitive and wonder and let them explore inside of themselves. It's a beautiful thing. Ask more than tell. Ask more than tell. If they do something wrong or some terrible behaviors or they hit somebody or something's not going well, you could say, I don't like when you do that. I love you. You're fine. I love you, the person, but I don't like that behavior. And if you can distinguish those, it really helps. Really, really helps. Judge the behavior, not the child. Not too harsh, please. Try to be gentle with people. Try to be gentle. Slow your voice down, slow your energy down, and not harsh on the kids, because then they take that with them. That's tough. Listen with soul, like I was saying. Stop, open up your heart, and listen to people. Watch, listen, and learn. Encourage their friendships. How's it going? What's good at? How's it going well? What's not going well? What do you think your choices are? What do you see? You don't have to give advice. You don't have to give, just do this. That's not, a lot of times it's not helpful. You get them to figure out what they need to do, and then go, okay, would you think that'll work? Well, yeah, let's try it. Why don't you try that? That's different than me telling you. They got to figure it out. And reward effort, not just results. If they tried really hard, but it didn't work out too well, cool, good job for trying. Keep going, keep going. It's important. This is important distinction. I'm coming toward the end here, you guys. What do we do about a problem versus what do we do with a problem? What do you do about that? Okay, I got a problem. What am I going to do about that? For example, I have cancer, and I'm trying to I'm taking the meds. I'm doing what I can about it. I'm trying to eat right. I'm trying to, do what the doctors tell me to do. I just got my shot yesterday in my belly, and I get every month. And that's what I'm trying to do about this problem. In between there, however, is what do I do with the problem? Okay, I've got this problem. What do I do with that? And that's thoughts and feelings, not actions, but thoughts and feelings. How do I feel about this? What do I think about this? Actually, it's not going very well, and I got on stronger meds, and and I'm scared about that. I'm very worried about that kind of thing. And so that's what I'm doing with it is, I got to do something with all of that, whether I'm doing it regardless of what I'm doing about it. So you see the difference. One's actions, the other one's your thoughts and feelings. A big deal. Ability to open your heart and close your heart is huge. One of the greatest skills of EQ. Listening with soul. Stop, open up, and listen. Try it. Do I messages, not you messages, not you did this and you're this way and you da 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 and you da 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 da. People don't like that, and it doesn't usually go very well. Better to do I thought, I expected, I felt, I believe, I want kind of thing. You talk about yourself, because that is something you actually hopefully know about, and you can talk intelligently about it. You don't know what they did, and you don't know who they are, and you don't know all this stuff about them. So don't talk about them, talk about yourself, and it works so much better. It works so much better. And you can ask. Communication, talking, listening, touching is a big deal, especially with kids. They love that. And so like I said, most of the time we don't talk about this stuff in school. We don't learn about it in school. We don't talk about it at home, and we better not deal with this stuff at work, right? Emotions and such. So as you guys learn things, please share it. Please be a ripple effect person. Please be top down. Please share what you learn about your emotion with other people about emotions. And I call it each one teach one. So that's we're responsible. Those of us who know are responsible to teach those who don't know. That's why I was up all night doing this and doing all kinds of EQ stuff. I feel responsible. People are dying quite literally to know what we know about emotions, and so I feel very compelled and pushed and driven to teach this stuff, figure it out, and learn how to do the better PowerPoints each time so that it makes more sense and it flows and you can use it and you can put it to work in your life, so we can share this and it's very, very important. Emotions matter. Give yourself permission to feel, take emotional responsibility, and choose wisely. Choose love and peace. This is a book we just came out with recently. It's activity book for kids and coloring and such, and it's all about emotions. And this is how you can connect with us if you like. EQforpeace.org is our website. /connect is just a form for get on our mailing list so we can stay in touch. So, like I said, I think it's our responsibility to do what we can with the world. We need some help. We need lots of help. We need lots of people to spread this around to get world peace. So there it is. Sorry I had to go so fast. I got too much information, but it's critical. It's so important. So I hope that was helpful. If anybody has questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Give yourself permission to feel, please.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anything, anybody?
Yeah, and
Hey,
sir,
Jan. Oh, got a raised hand? Sir?
yes,
question?
Aster, you can ask.
Yeah.
If any question, please ask.
Shall I continue?
Yes, yes. If
Yeah.
any question you ask now.
Thank you much for today's session. First of all, I'd like to heartful thanks for the program coordinators. They consider for this program, which is great success.
Ask the question. Ask the question, sir, directly.
Yeah, I'm going through this. So Doctor, I have one question, which is just you are talking about peace. It is also a psychological term. Just we can sense it. Peace is internal stability or external happy, but it's considered peace as politics or at economics or spiritually. It is important term. It's important term. But we are talking about peace only in psychological context. Have you any suggestion for further about this concern issue? Thank you.
Can you help me with the question, guys? Yeah.
Nambodri, sir, just ask the question properly.
What's the question? Bottom line, what's the question, please? I'm sorry. Trying to understand you.
Jain, sir. No. I also don't understand the question. Please, in short, you ask the question. Hello?
Maybe try putting it in the chat.
Yeah. Sir, how long you are doing this job at 40 years, and this journey is a very big journey. So what is your experience that the people are listening to you and change the behavior, or what is your experience about that? Just share, please.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've done about 350 talks since COVID's, 42 different colleges and universities, and they're mostly in India, by the way, mostly in Asia. United States is starting to get into it, but slower. So it's skyrocketing in popularity now. Like I said, a couple of universities has hired me as a professor, even though I don't have a PhD, which is pretty cool, like honor of my life. And it's happening. It's happening. So I'm really happy about that. But we have so much more to do. It's getting in more schools. People are starting to use it at work. People are starting to talk about it at home, but we're just scratching the surface. It's astounding to me sometimes how bad people are about their emotions, how little they know about them. It's really incredible because it's like half of our whole system and they don't have no idea. Some people have never had a conversation about their emotions ever in their whole life. Directly, like fear, anger, and sadness. We don't use those words, but we're starting to, and so that makes me happy. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to keep
good
happening, in my
experience.
opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Rajeshwar.
Yeah. Very good morning, Mr. Matt. And thank you
Thank you.
so
Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much for your peaceful and happy lecture to us. Okay. And as a psychologist, I learned about kinds of listening. Okay. But listening with soul, that inspired me a lot today.
You
I
like that?
just
Yeah, I
love
love
it.
that.
And
Yeah.
you told us to observe the body language of the listener. That has
Mm,
gone to the depth. Okay. And here,
yep.
but there is one clarification from my side. So regarding
Okay.
the action or emotion, okay, what to do about a problem? So action is like no cognitive solution.
Right. Well,
Okay, from
no,
you, I
well,
learned today this cognitive solution, actually cognition is thought. So the thought,
right.
what I have to find the solution, right?
Yeah, yep, right. That is a thought. Yes. I can
Yeah.
also avoid the solution. I can ignore it. I can do all kinds of other things about it. I can deny it. I can lie to myself about it. Those are all thoughts too. Those are all. But I need to find a solution is one of the thoughts. Yes. Go ahead. So now what?
Yeah, great.
What
Okay.
am I going to
So,
do
yeah,
about it?
yeah. So cognitive solution is my action. Okay. So the next comes the feelings, right? Thoughts and feelings, my emotional solution, right? Okay. Okay. So
Actually,
here,
no, I'm back on the first one. The cognitive thought is a thought. It's not an action. That's not an action. It's just something you thought of. You haven't done anything yet. I haven't moved yet. I'm just thinking about it. And then I have feeling about it. That's, like your car breaks down, right? What am I going to do about that? Well, here's the steps I can take. I haven't taken them yet, but here's the things I can take, right? Those are the thoughts. And I'm kind of concerned about that, and I don't have the money for that, so I'm scared, or I'm not sure what to do, so I'm confused. That's the feelings about it, but I still haven't moved yet. I still haven't done anything about it yet. So that's the difference. That's what do I do with it versus what am I going to do about the problem. Now I got to go do something about it. That's different. That's
thank you.
action.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's you cleared
There you
my thing. Okay. And thank you so
Okay.
much for
Yeah.
the book also you referred, no, for the students. I just you made us aware the book for the kids.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you so
yes.
much,
It's
man. Thank
wonderful.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Good questions. Keep smiling like that. That helps so much. Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Good,
answer,
good.
Parimal sir is there.
Yes, yes. So I just conclude this session that sir, you deliver a very nice lecture and we all understand the American language. I think about that your speed is it match with all Indian people, but they can understand all things. No problem. Yes, sir.
That's nice. That's
Uh,
nice. That's nice.
with your in your lecture reference Daniel Goleman's book, that is a very popular book in India also.
Mm.
He's a good writer, and we know all the we
Yep.
many more things from the Daniel Goleman's theory. We also
Yes.
understand from your lecture that how to maintain the emotion and how it is important. Also, with your reference that Martin Seligman's book, that is also a very popular book in India, where in various university we refer this book as a text.
Yeah.
In your lecture that
Hey.
how the peace education is most important thing in the educational institute, and I think that is now our educational pattern is changed. National education policy in that policy, the government include the peace education. That is a what how say that that is a
Yes.
important thing.
Yeah.
Then
Really, that's
how
wonderful. I didn't know
yeah,
that. That's fantastic.
yeah. How positive thoughts are important in the daily life. That is also important point you raise in your lecture.
Mm.
Positive parenting basics, that the skills also we need. We know we want to need for all for the parents. So Professor Matt That is a wonderful session we attend from you. That is a very good session. And once again, I congratulate you with us. You are with us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for going through that. That was great. It makes me feel good. Yeah, that Daniel Goleman book is on Time Magazine's 25 most influential books of all time on emotions. That's wild. One of the most influential books of all time makes me really happy. And so, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
deal. It's and getting bigger.
Yes, sir.
So cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mm.
Thank you. Dr. Parimal, sir, is there?
Yes, Parimal sir is there.
Yeah. So, Matt, sir, you want to stay to listen, Dr. Parimal?
Parimal sir. B.S.
Yes.
Parimal.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, Parimal.
I'll listen for a little bit and then
S-
I got to go. I
Yeah.
still have
yeah.
a day job. I've got to get my work done. So,
Yes, yes, yes,
so
yes.
thank you guys
Okay,
for
no
listening and
problem.
thanks for being such a good audience. I
Yeah,
appreciate the
yeah,
compliments and please take this with you and share
yeah,
it with other people about emotions. It's a big
yeah.
deal. So,
Yes.
bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So we moved for second session. Second section session is conducted by Dr. B.S. Parimal, Associate Professor, Department of Psychology, Faculty of Education and Psychology, Maharaja Sayajirao University, Baroda, Gujarat, India. Welcome, sir, for this second session. His educational qualification is MA, PhD. Hello.
Yes, sir.
ये window ये Dr. Matt just close the window, close the PPT.
Now I'm going to share the screen actually.
Yeah, you share. Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing.
Yeah. You are sharing. So the Dr. Parimal is MA PhD in psychology. Also, he did LLB and PG diploma, PG DCP. He having 24-year experience of teaching at UG level, 7 years teaching experience at postgraduate level. He also did the administrative work experience. He is a UGC nominee in a various institute at from the 5 years. Dean of Sports for 2 years. Also Dean of Student for 2 years. And he's a chairman of BA examination section 7 years. His research contribution is also a good. Uh, he is a PhD guide and his 3 students are very soon completed his work under his supervision. His publication also he's contributed for books, 4 books. His research paper published 19 research paper published in national and international level. Also, he conducted workshop, conferences, and he's uh, dealing with the psychological issues with the society. Thank you very much, Parimal sir, with us. And please, I request you to start your lecture. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Yes,
I
sir, make
hope that
the slideshow. Parimal sir, make the slideshow.
yes, sir. Now my screen is visible.
Visible. Make the slideshow, then
Yes.
full screen will be available. Just
Ah,
click the slideshow.
slideshow. Then here, I think.
Next. After the
Next,
animation.
next,
After the
next
animation.
animation. Here, slideshow. After
Slideshow.
the animation.
Above.
After ऊपर का line. I think
I
no.
think it
That
is
is आगे आ जाओ. ऊपर की लाइन में आगे आ जाओ.
Next.
और आगे.
ऊपर की लाइन में है सातवां
सातवां
फाइल ऑफ फॉर्म इंसर्ट डिजाइन ट्रांजिशन
1 minute.
ये क्या हो गया?
दाएं दाएं ऊपर X में क्लिक करें.
You are visible and
Yes, sir. Uh, Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. Actually, it is a challenge for me to deliver the lecture after lecture of, Dr. Matt. Okay, but I will try my best to give you satisfactions. So my topic is, parenting style and mental health of children in the context of suicide preventions. So I was, having the idea that many sessions and many speakers, mostly they have talked about parenting tips, parenting styles. So I thought that there should be some change in my lecture, and that's why I have added in the context of the suicide prevention. So everybody knows about, parenting and parenting style. This is the definition. Parenting style refers to the overall approach that parents use to raise their children, including the patterns of behavior, communication, and interactions. Directly, let me discuss. I think most of this, we people, I think from the field of psychology, must be knowing about the types of parenting style. And I will try to explain you how parenting styles are related to mental health of children, and especially in the context of the suicide prevention. That is my major focus of my today's lectures. So as far as the types of parenting style is concerned, in the 1960s, psychologist Diana Warren identified three main styles of parenting: authoritarian, authoritative, and permissive. A fourth style, neglectful or uninvolved parenting style, was later on added in the 1980s by Stanford researchers Eleanor McCoby and John Mardin. So Baumrind later wrote an entire book on the authoritative parenting style, which she believed to be the most beneficial. But all four categories remain in place today. Below are the different parenting styles. So number one is authoritative parenting. Here, let me explain you what are the attitudes and behavior of parents when they adopt authoritative parenting to bring up their children. So here in authoritative parenting styles, parents establish strict rules, but allow situational exceptions to the rules. So here rules are strict, but definitely they also take the opinions of their children's, when they are going to establish some rules. So they are flexible enough. They are not that rigid or adamant that these are the rules or you have to follow. Use a combination of punishment and reinforcement. So there is a combination, not necessarily only punishment, only reinforcement. When there is a need to encourage their children, definitely they motivate their children. And when there is a need that definitely their children to be punished, punishment form maybe or pattern may be different. Definitely they apply combination of punishment and reinforcements. They also consider children's feelings when creating and enforcing rules. So feelings of children's, emotions of children's definitely are taken into considerations when they are making some rules for to be followed by parents, by children from parents. So discuss rules with children so that they understand what are the effects of these type of parenting style on children. Here you can see on the other side, children are more happy, independent, and active. So here definitely strict rules are there, but are the flexible enough? And that's why definitely children are independent. When they want to take decision, they can take decision independently. They can solve the problems themselves, have the ability to form their own opinions. So not necessarily that this is my order and you have to follow. Your opinions are not taken into account. It is not like that. Have the ability to establish healthy social connections and succeed academically. Here also we can see the relationship, interpersonal or social skills is very high in children, those who are brought up under the authoritative parenting styles. And when we are talking about the mental health, definitely they have a better mental health. So please tell me if something is wrong from my side. Authoritative parenting, high responsiveness and high demands. Actually, a warmth and the control point of view, they keep balance, high warmth, affections and love. And also when there is a need, they also control their children's. Now, outcome you can say, research consistently shows that authoritative parenting is associated with the best mental health outcomes for children. It fosters high self-esteem, academic success, and social competence while reducing the risk of anxiety and depressions. So these are the some studies. Definitely, we have not to talk in the air. Parents that these are my rules, or children have to follow these rules. But definitely, we have empirical evidences. You can see, and in 1991, Bombrick found that children of authoritative parenting were more competent, socially responsible, and independent than those of authoritarian or permissive parents. That we will discuss later on. Other psychologists or researchers also found that authoritative parenting is linked to higher academic performance and lower levels of psychological distress among adolescents. So these are, coping skill and resilience also we can see in children's under authoritative parenting. Second one is the authoritarian parenting. Here, quite opposite to authoritative parenting, parents establish strict rules and expect children to always follow the rules. You can see you have to follow this because I told you so. No argument. This is my order, you have to follow. So this type of attitude from parents, that is the authoritarian parenting. They even don't discuss, they don't take into confidence of their children when they have to take some decision related to their career, related to their, marriage, related to their vocational career and other things, many, I think it may be, related to, professional and personal life. Here you can see what are the impacts on children of these parenting styles. Tend to be very obedient and never disregard any rules that is given to them. This shows that children are very obedient. Actually, externally, from outside, they look obedient. Parents are also happy that my children are very obedient. But in reality, those know the psychology of children, definitely inner side, they are very rebellion and sometimes they make also revolt, I think. So in reality, they are not obedient, I think. Inside, they are not happy. Can set extremely high expectations for themselves or career goals. Here you can see when parents give them order, definitely they are also have self expectations very high. And that's why we can see definitely they try to fulfill expectation of their parent as well as expectation of themselves. And we know the consequences. We will discuss what are the consequences of this type of parenting style. Will develop anxiety, depression from strict parenting and will form suicidal thoughts. That definitely I am going to discuss later on. In Kota, you can see, in 1 year, more than 23 students in 1 year, they committed suicide. Now, Kota is a capital hub of suicide. Because of, I think, if you will analyze, if you will study, this type of cases, definitely they must be having authoritarian parenting. I think. So we'll hate school and not value school as a place of socialization. Will have the inability to form their own opinions and thoughts. So these are empirical evidences or some findings. You can see number one by Keogh 2001 found that authoritarian parenting in Chinese American families led to high academic achievement, but also increased stress and lower self-esteem. Another finding is that harsh disciplinary practices associated with authoritarian parenting correlate with the increased risk of internalizing problems like anxiety and depression. So these findings definitely endorses that authoritarian parenting definitely lead to bad results. And what Dr. Matt has given what is the bad news. Definitely bad news is that authoritarian parenting definitely is not good. I think for children nowadays to bring up new generations. Third one is the permissive parenting, I think, are very lenient, may only punish children if the problem is very serious. Kids will be kids. They take it for granted, behavior of kids and children's. And even they accept, even children commit some errors when they commit some crimes. Definitely, they take it for granted. They don't take it seriously. All the permissions they are given. So don't discourage the children from doing bad things. Here, you can see the children are allowed to do what they want, to grow up with no respect for authority, often struggle academically, tend to make poor life choices because they have been raised with no guidance, lack their own self-discipline. Self-discipline point of view, definitely score is very low. Here also, studies, research showed that children of permissive parents were less self-reliant and explorative because they are definitely given, I think, freedom, full freedom to do anything and everything. And that's why definitely they don't develop critical thinking skill and creative thinking skill. So I think some days back I have read one article. I think Chetan Bhagat, you must be knowing, very well-known, I think, writer. And this time he has coined a new word for permissive parenting. That is the affluenza parenting. Hit and run cases nowadays you can see in Ahmedabad, in Pune. Okay, parents are given them, because they are very rich people. And definitely children are given all the facilities. And we can see hit and run cases are, I think, rate is very high. So this type of parenting is also very, I think, risky. Fourth one is uninvolved parenting. Here, I think mostly in the case of the parents who are working, both parents, mother and father, both are working. So hardly they spare some time for children and hardly they involve in activities of their children, hardly they communicate with their children, hardly they share or ask questions or problems to their children. That definitely no, I think mostly the uninvolvement, 100%, are neglectful, maybe overwhelmed by other life problems and ignore the children's. Often do not know what the children are doing. Even they don't know who are their friends, peer groups, and I think no monitoring at all. Don't have many rules or expectations because they expect children to raise themselves. Here you can see the impacts on the children under uninvolved parenting could face a lot of problem in their life because parents they don't have time. And that's why they are definitely in search of someone who can understand them, who can listen to them. But this type of children definitely uh, definitely they cannot share their problems with others, with parents. Lack self-control, lack self-esteem, have more mental issues like suicidal behavior in adolescents. Mostly authoritarian and uninvolved parenting, definitely they develop suicidal ideations. So uninvolved neglectful parenting, definitely low responsiveness and low demands, low control and low warmth. And here suicidal behavior in adolescent we can see. So Baumrind also identified the children of neglectful parents were the least competent, exhibiting low self-esteem and poor academic performance. And next one is Amato and Fowler also in 2002 definitely found that neglectful parenting is associated with a higher incidence of depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety is very common other than the authoritative parenting styles. And long-term negative effects also we can see when they become adult. Definitely they have relationship issues, and also as an adult, psychological well-being is also very low. So health is complete now. After discussing all these parenting style, let me try to relate all this parenting style with the mental health. So WHO defined health is complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes there are four components. Number one, children's they realize own abilities. They can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and most important, the fourth component is make a contribution to the community, and that is a WHO definitions. And something is lacking, definitely we are not mentally healthy. I will not discuss the mental health models, but there are 6 mental health model. Just I will give the name. Model A, mental health as abnormal. This model focuses on positive aspect of mental health rather than absence uh, of mental illness. Definitely now positive psychology we are discussing, and according to Seligman, instead of focusing on the darker side, parents and teachers are the second parents. So I also include teachers as parents have to focus on brighter side, not darker side. Mental health and maturity model B, it says about the positive or spiritual emotions. So spiritual quotient is also the nowadays definitely spiritual counseling is the need of the hour. Not only IQ, not only EQ, but SQ spiritual quotient is also important. That mental health and maturity model B, major focus. Model C, mental health has positive or spiritual emotions. Definitely there is a need how we can enhance or increase spiritual quotient, and definitely the solution lies in enhancement of emotional quotients. Mental health as socio-emotional intelligence. So I think Dr. Matt already discussed in the detail about that, and it is a great pleasure. I think I am very happy to know today is the first, I think, World Emotional Intelligence Day we are going to celebrate, and we people don't know. And definitely, there is a need, I think, to spread awareness to enhance emotional intelligence. Model E, mental health as subjective well-being. Subjective well-being focuses on not just absence of misery, but the presence of positive contentment. That is the subjective well-being. Mental health as resilience. Definitely, we are living in such era in pace of speed or pace. This is the ease of speed. We don't have time. Definitely, we are bound to be victimized of stressful situations. So definitely, there may be many setbacks, but there are setbacks doesn't mean that we cannot bounce back. When we can bounce back, children can bounce back when resilience is very high. So it is also, I think, the matter of the issue to be addressed in today's scenario. So parenting and mental health children's, how we can enhance. There are many recommendations. Also, I will not discuss in detail because most of the speakers have focused on these. How we can make a positive parenting or good parenting, how we can be good parents, or what parents have to follow. But when we are talking about this parenting style, just I will shed some light on these points. Number one, adopt an authoritative parenting style. The best ideal parenting style out of these 4 parenting style is the authoritative parenting style. So actions are set clear expectations, establish consistent rules and expectations while explaining the reasons behind them, encourage open communications, provide emotional support, and these are the benefits. Children raised with authoritative parenting are more likely to exhibit high self-esteem, good social skill, academic success, and are less likely to experience anxiety and depression, stress, and other psychological disorder or psychosomatic disorders. Maintain consistencies and predictability. Sometimes parents are not consistent in rearing children, but they have to be consistent about the rules and regulations. So without making compromise, sometimes parents are also making some compromise with the rules and regulations. No. You have to, parents, teacher have to maintain consistency. So create daily routines that provide structure and predictability for your child. Consistent discipline. Apply rules and consequences consistently to help children understand the boundary. Yeah, children are very suggestive. And definitely what are being said by parents, definitely they will follow. Even definitely they will create self-image and self-concept according to suggestions and instruction by the parents. So if the parents are not consistent in their suggestion, definitely there would be dilemma in mind of children to be or not to be. So they are also confused about themselves. What I am, they don't understand. So consistency definitely will help children. They feel secure and understand what is expected of them. Foster a positive home environment. Definitely, how to foster home environment positive, definitely mentally healthy relationship, and positive home environment contributes to children's emotional security and overall mental well-being. Promote emotional intelligence and resilience actions. Definitely, developing emotional intelligence and resilience help children cope with the stress and adversity, reducing the risk of mental health issues. Be involved and supportive in your child education. Parental involvement in education is linked to better academic performance and lower levels of anxiety and depression. So these are the points. Encourage healthy lifestyle habits. Yesterday, Madam already discussed about the healthy lifestyles, about exercise, about diet, about cognitive development. So healthy lifestyles habits contribute to overall well-being and can reduce the risk of mental health problems. Limit screen time and monitor media consumptions. Mostly, I think earlier speakers definitely focus on these social media addictions. So just we have not to criticize our children. They are addict of mobile and social media. As psychologists, we have to try to analyze why they are addict of social media. Something is wrong with our parenting style. If parents are themselves social media addict, they cannot give advice to the children to definitely they have not to be addict of social media. Why children's or kids are social media addict? Parents, they don't have time to take them outside of the home. Okay, parents, they give them mobile phone, then they will go to YouTube and other, social media sources. And that's why I think sports outside of the home, outside games are very important. And definitely, I will not discuss about how we can, overcome this type of problems, substance abuse and social media addictions. Seek professional help when needed actions. Sometimes, definitely, parents they don't have knowledge about the psychological problem because they don't have psychological background. Sometimes they become, they become doctor, they become psychologist, they become counselor. And there are also, I think nowadays, without license, without RCA license, many people just for earning money, they become professionals and psychologists. Actually, we have to check whether they have license or not. They are holding license by RCI or not. So, without hesitation, definitely, if the problems are very serious, early intervention and professional support can effectively address mental health issues and improve outcomes for children. Even there is a social stigma, definitely, what people will talk about my children, we have to go to professionals. There is nothing wrong. So, by adopting an authoritative parenting style, maintaining consistency, fostering a positive home environment, promoting emotional intelligence, and supporting healthy lifestyle habits, parents can significantly enhance their children's mental health. Being involved in their education, monitoring media consumptions, and seeking professional help when necessary are also crucial steps. We all know that we have to follow all these. But what is wrong, even we know all these measurements, preventions, measurements, all these, interventions. What is, I think, wrong with us, with children? That definitely time has come to discuss. So directly, I think authoritarian parenting style, permissive parenting style, uh, other than authoritative parenting style, suicidal behavior in adolescence is the, I think, outcome. And when we have scale to measure parenting style, we have scale assessment tool to measure suicidal ideations. So if I think now the parenting counseling is also very important. So if we assess or if we analyze that parents are having this type of negative parenting, definitely they can also play important role in suicide preventions. I always ask the questions when I deliver lecture on suicide preventions. And Jain sir and other experts also know, in February, I organized an international conference on suicide prevention, and it had a grand success with the help of all these experts, which is the most difficult task in our life as far as in the context of the suicide. So, the most difficult task in our life to kill oneself, I think, to end the life. So when do children kill themselves? Forget about the emotional issues, academic failures. failure in relationship, and others. I am asking these questions when someone commits suicide, what happens? At which moment they end the life? I think if you will analyze, but the behavior of children or those who have committed suicide, when children's, they don't have desire of living life. Once desire of living life disappears, definitely they commit suicide the next moment. And when they lose support, when they feel loneliness, when they lose meaning of life. In most of the cases, also we are dealing with the children who have suicidal ideations. We have many clients in our counseling center. And I have observed very common thing is that when people lose meaning in life, definitely they lose desire of living life. And the next moment, they commit suicide. Definitely they tried to live life. They are also tried to, find solutions. They are also trying, they are trying actually if they get help from some sources. But when there is a failure, definitely they commit suicide. So what is suicide? I think I don't want to give the definition of suicide. Textbook definitions. But suicide is one of the misunderstood phenomenon and under investigated list. Misunderstood phenomenon that mostly laymen, ordinary people, they talk that mostly I think this is the opinion, suicide is a sin. Those who are coward, they commit suicide. Okay. And every day, I will not go into the statistic of the suicide rate in India and in worldwide. Dr. Met already indicated that it is a very bad news. Worldwide, the rate is very high. Okay. But we just read the news, we talk, we criticize, and then we forget. We never investigate. As psychologists also, we don't try to study this type of cases so that we can prevent this type of suicide, tendency or this type of cases. Section 309 of the Indian Penal Code, till 2007, it was a crime. Then later on, with the, researcher and psychologist definitely played a very important role that it should not be a crime. And that's why policymaker decriminalized in 2017, and there is a Mental Health Care Act 2017. It says that notwithstanding anything contained in Section 309 of the Indian Penal Code, it was a crime earlier. If you will attempt to commit suicide, and fortunately, unfortunately, suppose if you survive, that definitely you will get fine or punishment. But now, if the person is in stress and you punish, definitely you add fuel in the fire. So now Mental Health Care Act says that if to have severe stress and shall not be treated and punished under the said code. So if the person is in stress, in depression, having some issues, and definitely survive, definitely should not be punished. So this is the Mental Health Care Act 2017. Aims at decriminalizing the attempt to commit suicide by seeking to ensure that the individuals who have attempted suicide are offered opportunity for rehabilitation. There may be debate or there may be, I think, controversies or maybe the difference of opinions that it should be not decriminalized. That is the different matter I will not discuss. But now suicide prevention, what is the role of parents? Before that, there should be awareness in parents because sometimes it is not an overnight change. children never develop or they don't take decision overnightly that tomorrow I am going to end the life. But problem is that peer groups, teachers, parents, friends, they don't know. Definitely there are some warning signs. Those who are brought up under this type of negative parenting styles. So parents should know that what are the signs, warning signs before committing suicide. Especially adolescents who talk about suicide don't attempt, die by suicide. That is the myth. Actually, nowadays on media also sometimes they send messages on Facebook, on WhatsApp, that this is my last day, I am going to commit suicide. Okay. So never ever, definitely, if this type of messages we read, even parents, they have to take it seriously. So one of the most ominous warning is talking. I wish I die instead of continuing with such life. Most teenagers, okay, don't, I think, something is. So this is also, they don't talk about the emotional problem for which they need help. Truth is, majority will give signals. It is important to identify the red signals. It is called the red flag signs. So most reveal such ideation to peer group rather than teachers or parents. Because of this type of parenting style, definitely they don't share their problems with parents. Or definitely they talk to their friends, those who are very. Third one is the talking to teens about suicidal ideation attempts, as it provides them with ideas and methods about killing self. So on the contrary, problem is that if they will talk to friends, they will talk to parents, or parents definitely will discuss this type of cases. They think that we have not to talk or to share this type of cases or problems with our children. Otherwise, they will get some ideas or thoughts and some tips how to commit suicide. That is also wrong. On the contrary, it is good, okay, because they definitely get sources to express their emotion instead of bottling up their emotions. This is also, I think, because I cannot see the title, that's why I think it is okay, I think. Screen sharing, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because title is hidden when
Now
I
it
said
will
this,
become normal. Slideshow gone.
but it's
So
okay
you
now.
click the current slide.
Okay. So most adolescents who attempt suicide fully intend to die, right? It is okay. Can you see this type, sir? Hello?
Hello.
It's okay now, my slides.
Yeah.
The most fourth myth is that parents have to know about their children. Most adolescents who attempt suicide fully intend to die. Actually, this is a myth. It is not the fact. Fact is that most suicidal adolescents don't want suicide to happen. They only want to better life. Fifth is the adolescent whose family members committed suicide will never go for it as have experienced the consequences. Actually, in most of the cases, if you will study, okay, some families, definitely some family members in the past committed suicide, definitely other members are likely to commit suicide, or they are more vulnerable to commit suicide in the future. Six, whether suicide can never happen in a family like ours. Okay. Suicide happens only in certain socio-economic group. Now you can see this hero or celebrity must be knowing. Okay, there was no, I think, lack of or materialistic facilities and money. But money has nothing to do with happiness. So mostly, I think definitely your economical social background is rich, even that there are chances to commit suicide. There is not a significant difference between male and female regarding suicide behavior. But this graph you can see definitely there is a significant difference between male and female. Suicidal ideation is very high in female compared to males, but the suicide rate is very high in male compared to female. And this is, I think, a suicide rate of 1990 and 2016, you can see. Because female death rate is low, their suicidal attempts should not be taken seriously. That is also, I think, fact, not fact. Truth is, one of the most powerful predictor of death by suicide is prior attempt. So 8 times higher chances of attempting again if history prior attempts of suicide. So nearly 50% of suicide death cases have previously history attempt. So every suicide attempt should be taken seriously. Sometimes we people take that this is attention-seeking behavior. Okay, he is talking or she is talking or children talking just for drawing attention, but that is wrong. We have to take it seriously. Suicidal attempt is done by only mentally sick people, not necessarily normal people also can commit suicide. And majority of cases have some psychological problem, but may also be done impulsively. So school study related issues, sexual abuse, substance abuse, peer expectations, family problem definitely can be a risk factors for suicide. Those who have attempted suicide keep on thinking of the same, nothing can help them. Not necessarily. Definitely, they want somebody's help. They want to live, but if they are not getting sources, not getting support from parents or friends, definitely they commit suicide. If the person stops talking about suicide, it suggests that he or she is no more thinking about it. Because there may be side effects of the antidepressant tablets or medicine, and that's why we think that now problem is solved or everything is resolved, but it's not like that. Anytime I think can think about it again. Parents are always aware of the suicidal ideation of the teen, not necessarily. In most of the cases, I think those parents are having uninvolved parenting, neglectful parenting. Definitely, they don't know about this type of suicidal ideations. Parents, relative, teachers, anybody can counsel the adolescents with suicidal ideation. I have already taken that. Definitely, nowadays, we have to check before taking that counseling from the professionals, whether they are eligible, whether they have license from RCI or not. Or definitely, they can give good counseling, proper counseling, applying psychological principles. Some teenagers do self-harm just to seek attention. I have already taken. It is not emotional blackmailing. It is not, attention-seeking behavior. Definitely, they do self-harm because they are in pain. They are facing some problems, and it should be, I think, definitely to be addressed by teachers, parents, and professionals. So, signs of suicide. These are some signs. Already we have talked about when they talk about being burdened to others, feeling trapped, experiencing unbearable pain. You can also see the mood, some changes in behavior also related to these sleeping problems, increased use of alcohol or drugs, withdrawing from activities, social withdrawals. These are the risk factors. Previous suicidal attempts, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental torture, cyberbullying, feeling of isolations and hopelessness. So everything, these are the risk factors. Lack of family support. You can see the list because of the time constraint. I will not discuss it. But definitely each and every risk factor to be discussed in the depth, in the detail. And definitely nowadays it is a challenge. Parenting is a challenge for new generations, and positive parenting and positive psychology, I think, definitely be helpful. It is the need of the hour. Lack of coping life skill, aggressive, impulsive personality, life stressors, legal disciplinary problem, easy access to firearms, weapons. Protective factors, what are the measurements? Authoritative parenting style already discussed. Parents should be, in authoritative parenting style, definitely very ideal parenting style. They are very loving, caring, understanding, and also sharing. So definitely we have to create awareness. We have to organize some awareness program for parents. So parenting counseling is also the, I think now, the need of the hour. Sports participations, exercise definitely. Earlier, I think previous speaker already talked about the happiness hormones and stress hormones. So these all are, we can also apply. We can discuss in the detail about the cognitive behavior therapy, rational emotive behavior therapy, client center, by Carl Rogers, I think, client center therapy. Also very helpful. Protective factor you can see on the screen. These are do's. Identify the warning signals. Listen. Madam was asking question about the listening skills. We are very poor to listen to our children. Talk openly, be honest, know your limits, make sure at each step, inform parents. Don't challenge the teen. Okay, you cannot commit suicide, you're just talking. You can show me by committing suicide. Never ever challenge. Don't debate with the teen about whether suicide is right or wrong. Don't promise or confidentiality. Don't panic. Don't rush or behave impatiently with the child. Don't act shocked. Don't be judgmental. We have not to be judgmental. We have not to be conditional. Never preach. We are very good preacher, but we are not good teachers. Okay. Never leave the student alone. Send him away. Don't worry about silence during conversations. So these are all, I think, don'ts. As a conclusion, suicide is a multifaceted problem, and hence suicide prevention programs should also be, multi-dimensional. Collaboration, government, teacher, academicians, parents, coordinations, cooperation, commitment. Okay, so definitely this issue is a very serious nowadays. The time is ripe for mental health professional and parents to adopt proactive and leadership roles in suicide prevention and save the lives of thousands of young Indians. Okay, when we can establish mentally healthy society. So if we adopt positive parenting, definitely we can shape mentally healthy personality, and from the childhood we develop this type of parenting, and we this type of upbringing, definitely children can be a mentally stable minded and healthy, and later on it will take time, but we can establish a mentally healthy society. So conclusion is that suicide is a cry for help. Every step matters. Suicide can be prevented. There is a need to break silence. And this is a poem by me, just as conclusion. And those who are facing, traumatic, those who are in trauma, those who are facing already developed suicidal ideation, and just we cannot understand their pain, their problems, their emotions, and just we give, please smile please. And the answer from this is, I think, one of the cases of child sexual abuse. That time I have written this poem, and this is what the answer from the victim. How can I promise you? Smiles are far miles and miles. What is spring and fragrance of flowers? Every day autumn showers. Rise and fall, fall and rise. Darkness ever. No sunrise. What color means for my life? I have nothing to do with breeze. I am bird phoenix. Phoenix bird, if you go know the history of the phoenix, okay, every moment be finished, burn to ashes, be alive, but no wishes. So I finish. And title, I think we are talking about REBT, we are talking about CBT, many therapies, many intervention. But according to me, the love therapy is the best therapy. Just you have to say, I am there. I am with you. Okay. So this is also, I think, last, I will take only 1 minute. Just you have to say, I am there. In all your adversities, you have to say to your children as parent, enjoy every moment of life. Cannot touch you any fatalities. I am there to kill your death. Now, this is your courage. Whatever you have visions, go for achieving all missions. Never sense meaninglessness. I am there to give you life a lot of reasons. Okay, what I have already told that when children lose meaning, definitely reason to live the life, definitely they cannot go ahead in the journey of life. Parents say, I am there to give you life a lot of reasons. Why fear of being left alone? Around is my love ocean. My positive waves will fill your isolations. Not in danger, your survival. Your survival, your existence is not in danger. I am there to rescue. Feel your existential love immortal. Our love is immortal. Is evidence circumstantial. So this is a love therapy, and this is all about my sessions. I have tried to give justice to discuss about this topic, but due to time constraint, definitely I cannot. So thank you very much to all. I hope that you must have enjoyed, or definitely you must have some very
Yes, sir.
question on confusions from my side,
Yeah.
from your side. Definitely you can ask. Thank you very much, sir.
So, addition of that, the suicidal ideation, we can train them what is the definition of life. The definition of life and the purpose of life both are different. Definition of life is save to others. For the save, there is a first method is charity. And blood donation is the number one charity. If you are providing the blood donation to unknown person, so we are save other person life. And the second, the first class Ganeshans are told Sufi walking. When you are walking, we are counting our left leg. Same way, hold 1 rupee coins in our hand. Just drop on the floor unknowingly in the way. Just imagine this coin is we are donating to the God which we are worship. This is another way. For first donation is blood donation. Second donation is our body parts, depends on terms and condition. Third one is food. Fourth one is finance. And the fifth one is smile, etc. This going on. Okay, thank you, sir. Anand, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ask Katil, I think, has raised the hand to ask something.
Yeah.
Yes. What is your questions?
Yes, Dr. Farman, I'm gladly to see you next time.
Yes,
Just,
yes. We were
you are
together in conference.
yeah. I got you.
Thank you
So
very much.
just my idea is also suicide is also critical or the huge the world agenda today. And currently I'm now just Ethiopia, Ethiopia. Just the young group members are more exposed to suicide currently. So adolescent groups by ages of 23 or 24 and just like this. So your session or lesson is also very interesting. It's more parenting issue, so parenting with child development or the development
Right.
of child. So it is ongoing, which means it's health will build a nation, is build healthful nation or health or good generation we can find from the parenting benchmark. So I think so. In currently, there is a lot of in my state, a lot of adolescents are exposed to suicide this year. So I think so. The case is not more related with parenting. It is also other peer groups issue, is political and just other issues. So in your long life experience, I need what they recommended in my voice to reduce this just like factors. I need your recommendation for this issue. Thank you much.
Definitely. Thank you very much for sharing your opinions. I think not only in Ethiopia, but worldwide, I think Dr. Matt already mentioned very bad news for us. Okay, sometimes the parents, they get news that your child is no more. Sometimes, yesterday, last night, they were together, they had dinner together, and they enjoy. But next day, what happened? Suddenly, end of the life, I think. So definitely, it is not the fault of parents. Even parents take it for granted. Okay, that children have to follow, and they have certain belief systems, or I think there is some software in programming in mind. So nowadays, for new generation, for adolescent, definitely we have to change. I think our programming or belief system or software. Definitely, yes, definitely parenting is a challenge, and there is a need of the hour, okay, to address this issue so we can save many people's lives, I mean, especially children and adolescents. You can see, and this, you are very much right. The age group between 12 to 15 or 15 to 29, the highest rate of suicide in this group. Okay, in quota, only 11 standard or 12 standard student, science student. This is the age to play the games, to enjoy the life. How they can think about the death? Even they don't know the meaning of the death. So somewhere on, we are focusing on the IQ, more marks, okay, and good job, earning money. IQ, and IQ. Hardly we think about the EQ. Hardly we think about the social quotient or spiritual quotient. Okay. So definitely at this, minor age, I think tender age, when we lose our children, I think those who have lost the children must be knowing, okay, what is the pain. It is, I think it gives me an immense pain when I get this type of news. I have not given, helplines, but personally, I've also definitely do service, and I have tried to save many people's lives, and it is a free of cost, without charging. Okay, I would like, especially for students, it is my duty, okay, moral duty to save life of our students, because the rate of suicide in student is also very high. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other participants have a question?
No, sir. I think we conclude the session.
Yeah,
Dr. Parimal, you speak very well, and that is a very serious issue to discuss in this platform. So that you said very well. Your PPT also very interactive, and you covered all point related with the psychological aspect, and how much parenting style is related to the suicide prevention. It is also an important factor you enlightened for that. Mental health model, you even in your lecture, I like very good mental health model, because something we know about that, but all six model you explained, that is a very good point. And your how to take care of childrens as a mentor is most important in this line. I ended this my opinion about your lecture, and I said to Nambodri sir, please share your experiences and make the vote of thanks. Thank you very much, sir.
okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. So we are good listeners, and through
Yeah.
these two speakers, Dr. Parimal sir and Professor Matt, we got detailed informations,
Yeah.
and in a, maybe the parents focus on IQ in their children's, but we want to give one more focus on EQ. Now a lot of Qs are available. Then it become SQ, RQ, PQ,
Yes.
FQ, AQ.
Mm.
It's going on, and HQ also. So in my observation, we want to give one more importance in EQ only. And if you are able to maintain our EQ in the proper way, we can control our diverse and suicide in our country, in my observation only. So we want to give one maximum in EQ. So thank you very much for giving the enriched sessions.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
bye, good night.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you so much. Good night.